As we talked about at the start, most people have this philosophy in life that says it's either this or it's that. And this is how I was raised, it's this or that, or it's either or. When the truth is that things aren't either or, they're both and. Things are both one thing and another thing at the same time. It's both leadership and management. It's men and women. It's Christians and Muslims. Whatever you want to think about that might be perceived as opposites, it's both, all of the time. It's individual and team. Now, one of the things we need to have a both and about is to realise that you've got your view and I've got mine. But as we talked about at the beginning of the day, what really matters is ours. I call it shared view. And there are two things fundamentally that cause human conflict. Just two things. One is we disagree on where we're going, which is why an organisation, the first thing you need a shared view about is not only where you are, but also where you're going. Because this first reason for conflict, a disagreement about the goal, causes a lot of grief in organisational life and a lot of grief in family life. Quick example. My wife often says to me, let's go to the pictures. All right? Now, I immediately respond positively because going to the movies is something her and I enjoy to do. So there's no problem with the goal. We're going to the movies, right? But the second reason for human conflict sometimes comes into play, because the first reason for human conflict, we disagree on the goal. In my wife and I's case about going to the movies, we don't disagree on the goal. We're going to the movies, fantastic. It's the second one that causes all the trouble. Now, Michelle, you know what's going on here? Straight away, because Laurie, it sounds like you're guilty just like I am. So my wife says, let's go to the movies, and I straight away give a positive response. Yeah, let's go, because we like going to the movies. So we agree on the goal. Then she says, we're going to see Up Close and Personal or whatever. And I go, wait a bit. And this happens in families, this happens in sporting teams, this happens in organisations. We can agree on where we are and agree on where we're going, but how we're going to get there or the detail is what causes the strife. And so in organisational life, just as much as a family, you need agreement on where you are, where you're going, how you're going to get there, which is shorthand for strategy, and who is going to do what and when, which is shorthand for execution. And unless you have a shared view with the majority of your employees about where you are, where you're going, why you're going there, which I almost forgot, the why is really important. We'll cover that this afternoon. And why you're going where you're going, how you're going to get there and who's going to do what and when, you can't have everyone happy being magnificent. And then what the Enhancing the Gift system does is make this easy. Well, not easy actually, simple. Because it's not easy, but it is simple. Because I'm here to remind you folks that all the trouble in the world and all the trouble in your organisation and all the trouble in your family, in your neighbourhood and your sporting club is caused by these two fundamental reasons for conflict. We disagree on where we're going, or the one that usually gets us into trouble, Laurie, we disagree on how we're going to, the detail. So Michelle says, let's go to the movies, and your eyes light up because you like to go to the movies, and then she wants to go and see a girly film, and you go, wait a minute. So it's not the goal that causes the problem. Often, because, you say to your employees, we're going to build a great company. Well, no one's going to really fuss about that unless you've said it several times before and you haven't done it. But it's the detail that messes us up, yeah? So shared view, fundamental. Not just in your workplace, but also at home. And the reason, and this is another way that I like to explain it, and for those of you that have read the Change in One's Normal book, you know this is a theme that goes through the book, and I think it's a theme that you need to really catch hold of to make enhancing the gifts work. There are three worlds. There's the world in here, that's my world. And then there's the world out there, that's your world, Trevor. But if Trevor and I are going to work together, my world is not as important and Trevor's world is not as important as the world we share. And that's this world. And this is the trouble with politicians, you know. They say, you know, well, I'm right and you're wrong. Well, no. Fundamental law of the universe. There is no right or wrong. There's only a view. There is no way, no best way of doing something. There's only a shared way if you really want to. This is why, you know, politics is fundamentally flawed. Because, you know, Liberal says, well, my way is better than your way, and Labor says, no, it's not, my way is better than yours. Never the twain shall meet. So we never get anything great done in this country or any other country that's got this form of politics. And we don't get anything great done in organisations when a leader says, it's my way. As one of my early bosses, he said, you should say it's my way or the highway. If that's how you lead, it won't work. And if it's how you're leading, that's why your business is not achieving what it could. Because there is no one way, there's only a shared way. There is no yours and mine, there's only ours. There's three worlds, but only one matters. It's not my world, it's not your world, it's the one we share. What do you think about this? I see nods. This is really important in performance and leading performance. This is whoever wins the premiership. In those of you that are watching this in another country, we're here in the capital of Australian rules, where Australian rules football is religion. The side that wins the flag in three or 4 weeks' time, with absolutely no doubt, will be the one that's got a shared view. And at the moment, that's Hawthorn. See if I'm right going into the future. At the moment, there's no individuals, it's about the team. At the moment, it's no one way as the right way, it's our way. And you see the coach talk, he says, I don't want to be interviewed because it's not about me, it's about us all. This is a fundamental lesson of leadership. It's not about you, it's not about the other person, it's about us. It's not about I, it's about we. Yes? Never forget it. Because the moment you think I, you're a poor leader. You have to think we. And if you're thinking I, go somewhere else, do some reflection, go and have a cup of coffee, do whatever you need to do to get in the space. Because if you're about yourself, that encourages misery and mediocrity. It doesn't encourage magnificence. I know myself, when I was leading and managing in the corporate world, and I had 300, 400 people or something at the end of my corporate career, and if I was ever not feeling really sharp, I'd go somewhere else. Because I know what it does. If you walk out of your office with the wrong intention, it can have such a ripple effect. You know, Gita Balance, she's a poet, she says, success depends on where intention is. Intention's another word for purpose. So if you walk out of your office and your intention is to go get that son of a gun who's performing miserably today, it's all downhill the moment you walk out of the office because your intention's wrong. Because you're seeing the person as they are, not as they could be. Now, it takes a while to really reflect on this. It takes a while to catch yourself not seeing people as they are, because it's real easy to do when all hell's breaking loose. People are not performing at their best. It's really easy to see people as they are and forget, and rather see them as they could be. This is why shared view is really important. And you'll see that when we get down to the nitty-gritty of enhancing the gifts, it's about having a shared view with the person about their performance, so that you can have honest, candid, authentic, transparent conversations about performance. Because that's what's going on in organisational life today. There's too much bullshit. There's not enough candour. And I think candour is the new competitive edge. We're sick of spin. We're sick of people not talking the truth as they see it and feel it. And so it's refreshing if you can get this happening in your organisation, if you can stop talking bullshit and start talking from your heart and talking about things for real, magic happens. That's one of the things I loved about my early mentors, you know, was this idea. See people as they can be, not as they are. If you're not behaving that way, get away. Because it's so important. The moment you step out in public, they see, they hear, they can feel it if you're in a bad mood, Lisa. No, you wouldn't be in a bad mood, but they can feel it. Andrew, you know this in those early days, you know, they can feel it. And they mightn't understand it, but they feel it.